Since March of 1996, Resident Evil has had a place in many gamers' hearts. From the well-placed jump scares to the fear of the unknown that propels you through each game with sweaty palms and a welcome uneasy feeling in your gut. Yet sadly, the Resident Evil series has lost its luster as of late. Capcom is confident that Resident Evil 7 Biohazard will be the rightful return to what we have loved in the past. But does it hit the mark? Let's find out. A franchise staple of the Resident Evil series, it's its ability to give us a brilliantly looking game, and with Resident Evil 7, Capcom doesn't disappoint. This game has a distinct look to it, everything from the houses you explore to the rotting food and bodies. Pestilence and decay is rampant. Now, I did run into muddy textures as I walked into a room and objects were loading in. First-person view makes it noticeable, but as a whole, the game is visually stunning. Capcom has improved the menus and UI. They are simple, clean, and easy to use. You can equip weapons and usable items to the D-pad. In the past, combining items was a bit of a hassle. That has been corrected in this year's iteration, as you are only 2 to 3 clicks away from combining any 2 items. One of the biggest reasons why Resident Evil became a fan favorite was because of its unique gameplay. Being one of the only survival horror games around, it became a sweetheart of gamers who love the genre. As of late, the series has taken a turn to more of an action game rather than sticking to its roots. Capcom has since learned and designed this game with its survival at heart. From the moment you start the game and receive your first handgun with one clip, you quickly realize every shot counts. They give you the ability to create ammo through materials, with one caveat. The same materials used for ammo creation are also used for first aid, so choose wisely. In general, movement is slow, which is reminiscent to the older games. The lack of speed does add to the intensity of the combat. The gunplay is average at best. In order to best enjoy gun combat, you will need to turn off aim assist, as it was practically useless. If Capcom is going to keep the traditional gunplay, then they should at least make sure that it's well done. For a game that is known to have quite a few puzzles in it, Capcom has reduced the amount in this game. That's not to say it's a bad thing. There is plenty of variation, from using light and shadows to project an image on the wall, or having to complete a series of actions to reach the next part. The overall difficulty of the puzzles is easy. That may be a disappointing thing to hear, but it kept me in the action. The pacing of the game is spot on. They never let your adrenaline settle, so be ready for non-stop tension. This is where the game truly shined, but it's delivery, not the story. You play as a douchey male named Ethan Winter, whose wife Mia disappeared 3 years ago prior to the start of the game. He suddenly gets an email calling for help, and Ethan runs off to Louisiana to save the damsel in distress. You arrive at the plantation and are greeted by the Baker family, which isn't your typical Bayou family. Without spoiling anything, let's just say things escalate rather quickly. Capcom implemented a mechanic where you watch an old VHS tape on the TV, which just so happens to be how you receive the backstory on the game's cast. Instead of just watching it, you're experiencing the flashback. Early on, it'll seem like Biohazard is part of a different story arc, but as you progress, you start to uncover links to previous installments of the series. So for those of you that are fanatics of the lore, Capcom has some juicy details for you to speculate on.
Stay right there, you little bitch!
The emotions that were projected by the voice actors pulls you into the story in such a way that I found myself not wanting to stop playing. After every cutscene, I couldn't wait to see what happened next. Capcom does a great job of curating the environment with the same care. As you explore the houses on the plantation, you start to realize that the Baker clan was once a normal family. Transitioning from area to area was really well done, with none of the jarring experiences you sometimes see in other games. Credit to Capcom for creating such an enthralling world for us to explore. With all this said, is Resident Evil 7 Biohazard a return to form? Yes, but it's not without its flaws. The game looks, runs, and feels great, but muddy textures cannot be overlooked. The UI is clean and simple, which never pulls you out of the immersion. Gameplay is well done, and the first-person view works great for the survival horror genre. Although it's unfortunate that it also puts the muddy textures on display. Gunplay desperately needs an improvement to its horrid auto-aim. And the storyline can be considered stereotypical for the genre, but the voice actors and their emotions knock it out of the park. The Bayou was a perfect setting for the story. We believe Resident Evil 7 is worth your hard-earned cash. Hope you guys enjoyed our review. If so, give us a like, or even subscribe if you haven't already. Keep it locked to the Square Gamers for all your video game needs.